A Tallahassee trial continuing to gain national attention. What was supposed to be a simple one-day trial on Friday at the Leon County Courthouse, going on for hours and now going until Monday. At the center of it all, a Tallahassee man accused of driving under the influence and driving with a suspended license. But in the courtroom on Friday, all both sides could talk about was accusations of misconduct by a Tallahassee police officer during that.
Shalom, people, and welcome back again to another edition of News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Rap Session. I'm getting a terrible. All right, I'm back. I found out where the corporate culprit was. Man, I was live all over the place in 3 different locations. So let's go. Let's start that video over again. Thank you for joining me. I am Makoti Speaks. This is News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Rap Session. We're going to talk and dive right into the case of Kelvin Riley, one of our brothers who's found himself being a victim of police misconduct. We're going to talk about the viral video. We're going to do an analysis of the viral video, and I'm going to give my commentary. Of course, this is News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Rap Session. Let's get back into this video.
Traffic stop in May of 2023. The trial in Tallahassee against this man, Calvin Riley, moving to day 2.
State, you need to proceed with whatever evidence you have right now.
The case gaining national attention after an edited portion of the body camera footage during the May 2023 arrest went viral, which raised questions about a Tallahassee police officer, Kirsten Oliver's conduct during that traffic stop. Oliver watching in court that body camera footage, the state directly asking her if the vodka bottle in the car had anything to do with the DUI charge.
No, because it was found post his arrest.
On cross-examination, the defense painting Oliver as an inexperienced officer who mishandled the arrest.
He's wearing glasses, correct?
Yes.
The day of, he was wearing glasses, correct?
Yes.
Today you also testified that he had bloodshot eyes, correct?
Correct.
And you wrote a report on May 7th, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you swore to tell the truth in that report, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in that report, you never said anything about him having bloodshot eyes, correct?
Okay. Yes, correct.
So what you're watching right now is the testimony of one Miss Officer Kristen Oliver. She is the one that was the one that pulled Mr. Riley over, and she testified of opening the sealed liquor container. That's the liquor bottle that's at the center of the whole controversy. The reason why this whole case went viral is because this young lady that you see here in front of you, she's the one that popped the cap on the liquor bottle and then poured the liquor out and then proceeded to place the bottle back into uh, Mr. Riley's vehicle and proceeded to tell her colleagues that she found an open container in Mr. Riley's car. I guess, which she testified saying that, the open liquor container was not part of evidence because I had already decided to arrest Mr. Riley for DUI um, prior to me popping the cap. So they're trying to argue. The prosecution is trying to argue that the liquor bottle is not relevant because it's not part of the initial stop and the initial cause for arrest. So as the day went on in the trial, you can see how the judge was getting frustrated by both the prosecution and the defense. And what was supposed to be a 1 day trial has now been extended until Monday. This young lady here is the only person that took the stand on as far as a witness on Friday. And can I say that the defense attorney painted the picture of this young lady of being one who was very inexperienced. And at one time, she leaned on that as an excuse as to why she took those actions, popping the cap, pouring the liquor out, and tossing the bottle back into the car. She used that as an excuse. But then in the same breath, she said that from her experience, she was able to tell just by looking at the eyes of Mr. Riley that he was under the influence of some type of illegal substance, right? Driving under the influence is what Mr. Riley is charged with. So let's go ahead and continue to listen to her testimony because when we come back to the other side, you're going to understand why this young lady has placed Mr. Riley in a very compromising position.
You also did a deposition, is that correct?
Correct.
In which you were sworn to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
And in that deposition, you also never said he had bloodshot eyes.
Okay.
During the redirect, prosecution putting Oliver's experience in context.
Called Officer Muth to the scene. Was your intention to receive help?
Yes.
Were your intentions to make sure you were doing things properly?
Correct.
Was it a teaching moment for you?
Absolutely.
According to court testimony, an arrest report for Calvin Riley shows he was arrested on South Monroe Street in May of 2023. He was eventually charged with a DUI and driving with a suspended license. The case hadn't made any waves until a clip of that body camera footage in the case went viral this week. The Tallahassee Police Department says it would not release that body camera video until after the trial. An edited version posted online by Our Tallahassee, you can see Oliver is pouring liquid out of a sealed bottle from Riley's car. That's seen again in court, this time with some redactions ordered by the court. But that coming after strong words from the bench. The video had not been properly redacted by the state. The judge ordering it to be fixed, causing a delay that lasted more than an hour.
The fact that we are wasting everyone's time, including the jurors and the court personnel, and are going to be here late into the night because of this is unacceptable.
Oliver not getting on the stand until after 2 p.m., after both the defense and prosecution stopping multiple times for sidebars, objections, and other motions. We talked one-on-one with Riley, who denies the charges against him.
What they want to portray or pursue is me being a disrespectful, belligerent black man disrespecting a law enforcement. But you have to ask yourself, why is he saying and arguing with this person like this? Because they don't know, and they don't know what I've been through with these police since I've been here.
That trial expected to resume here at the Leon County Courthouse at 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning. I'll be here. The state is expected to call more witnesses. We're still waiting to see if the defense will call any witnesses. So it is expected to be a long day on Monday morning.
Okay, so we want to go ahead and make sure that we give credit to our dear sister here that you see in the video. And this news report comes from come from ABC 27 WTXL in Tallahassee, and this is our dear sister Shamaria Morrison. And so she did a good job of covering the story. And once again, she said that she's going to be there 8:30 on Monday. That's tomorrow, to pick up on day 2 of this trial. Like I said in the beginning when the show first started, and welcome back again to News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Wrap Session. This is a special report on the case, the DUI case of Calvin Raleigh. He is being charged with DUI as well as driving while being on a suspended license. Now, during the course of my investigation, I poured over several news articles, and I also poured over several videos trying to find the most conclusive or in-depth perspective of what exactly happened that night and what transpired. So before I get into the actual day 1 of the court case, I want to go ahead and let us go back to that night and watch the video of the interaction between one Miss Oliver, what is her name? Kristen Oliver, Officer Kristen Oliver, and Mr. Calvin Raleigh. Let's go ahead and watch what happened that night.
Meet Calvin Riley. He's being stopped by the Tallahassee Police Department on South Monroe.
Hello, sir. I'm Officer Oliver with Tallahassee Police Department.
She'll plant evidence of an empty liquor bottle in Riley's car before arresting him for an alleged DUI. Riley's license is suspended, and officers decide to arrest Riley on a first offense for his suspended license.
Would you be willing to do some voluntary field sobriety exercises? Okay. Here, go ahead and step out of the vehicle for us.
They didn't tell him the consequences of refusing that voluntary test.
Just go ahead and face the corner of the car for us. Your license is
After
suspended.
detaining Riley, they ask him if he smoked any marijuana.
Mr. Riley, I got a quick question for you.
No problem.
So I smelled marijuana in your vehicle. Did you recently smoke?
No.
Once he's arrested for driving with a suspended license, they can search his car. Officer Oliver leaves the car, does a 360, and then goes back in the car, retrieving a sealed liquor bottle and pours it out. That was the sound of the seal on the liquor bottle breaking. Here's another angle. While Officer Muth questions Riley about marijuana again,
Did somebody else smoke in your car earlier?
Oliver tosses the empty bottle into the passenger seat. They don't find any marijuana in the car. Here's Officer Oliver implying to Officer Muth that the empty bottle was likely what was in a cup in Riley's center console.
Cover where like the knee would sit, there's an opening, and he had it like tucked. Okay. And then the whatever he had in his cup also stuck.
Then Officer Muth tells a senior officer that they found open alcohol in the car, in both a bottle and a cup.
Yeah. Well, okay, so he had a bunch of alcohol stuff in there, but yeah, open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in his like Tervis in the center console, he had a mixed drink, and then under his knee he had a like little bottle of vodka tucked away.
When officers group to discuss the case, they all ask each other if their body cameras are off.
Any evidence of that?
Marijuana.
Yeah.
The video ends at this point. Riley's arrest report states, quote, "A search of Riley's vehicle yielded a small bottle of vodka that was opened in a pocket in the driver's seat cover." Riley's case begins on Friday, April 5th in the Leon County Courthouse in Tallahassee.
Okay, so that was the engagement, but what happened during that engagement was brought up during the trial and used against Mr. Raleigh during the trial. His interaction, his constant talking. We talked about this once before on an episode here on News, Facts, and Comments. It's very important that we learn our rights, and if we're going to plead the fifth, we need to do just that. I think he said a little bit too much, but I wanted to go ahead and bring your attention to Officer Kristen Oliver, there's some things that stood out to me during her testimony, and I wanted to draw y'all attention to that. The cross-examination began, but it was at this point right here is where things got a little bit questioning, and I just want to get y'all takes on it. Y'all let me know if what y'all see is wrong with this testimony by Miss Oliver.
Now, when you were next to the car, you say that you smelled marijuana from the car. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you thought it was a DUI.
Yes, ma'am.
During the search, you found a bottle of alcohol, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was found in a pouch on the front of the driver's seat?
Yes, ma'am.
And the bottle you found in that pouch was 20-gram vodka, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was a smaller bottle.
Yes, ma'am.
When you found the bottle, you took it out, you put the bottle on the seat,
Yes, ma'am.
and you continue then to search the car.
Yes.
During that search, you didn't find any marijuana.
No, ma'am.
You didn't find any joints.
No, ma'am.
You didn't find any paraphernalia.
No, ma'am.
You didn't find any evidence of marijuana besides a smell.
Yes, ma'am.
Before finishing the search, you went back to that 20-gram bottle that you left on the driver's seat,
Yes, ma'am.
and you picked up that bottle.
Yes, ma'am.
You opened that bottle.
Yes, ma'am.
That bottle was sealed before you opened it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you twisted the top of the bottle,
Yes, ma'am.
and you broke the seal.
Yes, ma'am.
And after you opened it, you dumped out the contents.
Yes, ma'am.
You dumped it onto the road.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you put the top back onto the bottle.
Yes.
And then you put the bottle back into the car.
Yes, ma'am.
You threw it on the passenger side.
I did.
And has that always been your testimony?
Everything that you just asked. I did not know that I opened the bottle in my original testimony.
At a pretrial hearing, you swore to tell the truth, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified that you didn't unseal it.
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Yes.
So, at that time, that was a lie.
Unknowingly, yes.
But now, you know that you did unseal it because you had the chance to watch your body-worn camera.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Officer Muth was the other officer with you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
She also conducted the search of the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
And as we keep reiterating, you've previously done a deposition, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And during that deposition, you swore to tell the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Has it always been your testimony that Officer Muth also searched the car?
I told you at the time I did not remember her searching the vehicle.
So, Officer Muth.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt right now because I'm going to tell you why that last statement is problematic. That last statement is problematic because in the full body cam video, you could you can see Officer Kristen Oliver and the other officer that they just named having a conversation about a cup that was in Mr. Riley's vehicle while they were conducting the search together. Just like Mr. Kelvin Riley kept saying over and over and over and over again in that video, when she's on her body cam video, she's a liar. And to me, if this is the star, she's the star witness for the prosecution, she's a liar. Her credibility is shot, and the judge should have dismissed this case. Even he was upset and perturbed with the prosecution and the way that they handled this case. And the defense attorneys tried to tell him, hey, this is the fifth time that we are telling you that the prosecution is acting improperly as far as bringing forth witnesses, letting us know who's going to be on the witness list, and also I guess you could say evidence. You know, they put forth evidence at the last minute, and the judge just denied their claim to their motion to have the case dismissed because of the improper way the prosecution is handling this case. And now here it is, their star witness get on the stand and lies. It's caught in lies based on what she's testifying today in court is contradictory to what she testified in the deposition, and it definitely contradicts what we saw in the video. So her deposition contradicts what we saw in the video, and she's trying to align what's in the video with her testimony today. So this whole thing is just totally ridiculous for the judge to even allow this trial to continue, knowing that the charges stem from DUI, and that now his charges in his life now, the case against him is dependent on this one witness who's a liar. I'm not understanding what's going on here and why the judge did not dismiss this case. So, like I said, I scoured all over to find the right article and the right video that was going to tell the story and make sure that we convey the right information to those that are concerned. So here's a little bit of background about Mr. Riley. Calvin Riley Sr. is 56 years old, who goes by Riley. He grew up in Tallahassee, South City apartment complex. He spent years with his mother in Meadows Mobile Home Park in the late 1880s. So he's a barber, right? And he was wearing his barber jacket on the night of that encounter with Officer Oliver. And she accused him of smoking marijuana. And, I think that if someone was accusing me of doing something that I didn't do, and it depends on me going to jail or not, I think I would be quite disturbed too. I think I would get kind of belligerent. I think I would be, kind of besides myself if I'm about to go to jail for something I didn't do, you're accusing me of, right? And so I think that to make her case against Mr. Riley stick, I think that she wanted to, or decided to, she wanted to have a stronger case against him. So she, and what everybody else is saying, based on the viral video, she planted evidence. So there's a vodka bottle, there's vodka in his seat, it says here. From our reporter from our Tallahassee, he says, oh, there's vodka in his seat. Vodka was found, Officer Oliver notes to her body-worn camera. While they search Riley's car, Officer Moot's body camera shows Oliver holding up the full bottle of cognac. Oliver also points to an insulated stainless steel tumbler style cup in the center console, which Oliver claims smelled like alcohol. And that's during the time when Newt and Oliver were together searching the vehicle. Now she wants to get up on the stand and pretend like she has no recollection of she didn't remember during her deposition that Officer Muth was with her. So it says Riley says the cup contained Arizona green tea, which he says his drink of choice. Body-worn camera footage shows additional Arizona tea bottles in his back seat. So Officer Oliver tosses the empty liquor bottle in the floorboard of the passenger seat after pouring it out. And then when the other officer comes upon the scene and he asks her if she has any evidence of the DUI stop or him drinking or anything like that, she says that there was open container when she's the one that opened the container. This case should have been thrown out like from the beginning. Let's get some more of the video of her testimony.
Wasn't there when you opened the bottle.
No, ma'am.
And officers rely on each other to write reports.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's because not every officer sees everything.
Correct.
And not every officer writes a report.
Correct.
Usually there's a primary officer.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're the ones who write the primary report.
Yes, ma'am.
In this case, Officer Muth was the officer who wrote the primary report.
Correct.
And you told Officer Muth about the bottle.
Yes, ma'am.
And you told her that because she was the primary officer.
Yes, ma'am.
Because she'd be writing the report.
Yes, ma'am.
And you told her about the bottle because you were using it as evidence.
I told her that there was a bottle of vodka found in the vehicle.
Overruled.
I told her that I found a bottle of vodka in the driver's seat. Now, whether she used it or not as evidence, that was up to her.
But she only knows anything about that bottle because of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
So her entire knowledge of that bottle is based on what you told her.
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
Yes, ma'am.
And an open liquor bottle found inside the car within reach of the driver would be a big indicator for a DUI, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you told Officer Muth that bottle was open.
No.
Has that always been your testimony?
I don't remember.
You did a deposition, correct?
I did.
You swore to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
In that deposition, did you say something different?
I don't remember what I said about that.
Would seeing a copy of the deposition refresh your recollection?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick question to the listening audience. Do you all think that just a police officer stopping you and saying that your eyes look blurry, your eyes are bloodshot, and your speech is slurred, is that enough reason to arrest you on DUI? Put a 1 in the comment section if you watch this later. Put a 1 in the chat now if you're watching now. Thank you for watching. But just let me know if you think that, you know, that's a good way, that's a good reason to say someone should be arrested. Bloodshot eyes, blurry eyes, slurred speech, in the officer's opinion. This is at their discretion, keep in mind.
For the court as well, what page and line?
Your Honor, the state's not objecting improper impeachment.
What's the page and line that you're intending to use?
Your Honor, it's page 63, lines, to include the question, 4 through 7.
We shouldn't even have to go through all this because she knows exactly, she remembers
You
exactly
can proceed with your refreshing
what
of the
happened.
recollection. Ishmael?
Everyone in this courtroom is yelling except the judge. It's like,
Thank you. Lines 4 through 7.
Yeah, just to
Oh,
yourself.
sorry. Thank you.
they're learning as they go at the expense of Mr. Raleigh. I think that's what frustrated me with this whole day one court case was the inexperience on the prosecutor side, the defense side, and also, of course, this young lady that's testifying right here.
In that, did you say that you didn't remember your exact phrasing, but you knew from seeing her report?
Impeachment.
Sustained.
She's pausing because she does not know how to formulate this question because she's
Amendment
young and
confer, Your Honor.
inexperienced.
Yes.
So now she's going to confer with the older attorney to tell her how to form the question to get it in so the judge don't sustain it. And this is what took the court case so long because it was constant conferring, it was constant sideboarding because lack of experience. And these are the people that we're hiring, and these are the people that are the determinants of our fate. Sometimes
Seeing a copy of your deposition, did that refresh your recollection?
Yes, ma'am.
And had you previously testified saying that while you didn't remember your...
Objection, improper impeachment, and hearsay.
Overruled.
Did you previously testify that you didn't remember your exact phrasing, but you knew that from seeing her report?
Objection, Your Honor, improper impeachment.
You need to ask it a little bit differently, but that's sustained.
Did you previously testify that you didn't remember your exact phrasing?
Correct.
But previously you didn't deny telling her that it was open.
No, because I couldn't remember.
But you agree that she would only know that from you.
Yes, ma'am.
I withdraw my objection.
And like you said, she put that in her report.
She put an opened bottle, correct?
And she put that in her report because it was evidence.
I can't say why she put it in her report.
see, she's being disingenuous. She knows why. She's a police officer. Or is it that she doesn't have enough experience to know that's why she would put it in the report? Either way, she's incapable of being a strong witness.
The report says that there is an open bottle, which she knows because of you. Correct?
Maybe.
Did you not testify earlier that the only way she would have known that it was open was from you?
Either what I said or what she assumed.
So you're denying that previously you testified that she only knew about being ordered because...
Improper impeachment.
Sustained.
A moment to confer, Your Honor.
So basically, here it is. I'm going to wrap it up in a nutshell for you all. And I want to thank you once again for joining me. This is News, Facts, and Comments. Sunday wrap session, special report on the DUI case of Mr. Calvin Raleigh, our brother who was charged with DUI and driving while on a suspended license. The case has garnered national attention. And it's a case that's gone viral. In a nutshell, we have here a brother that was driving He's accused of driving at a high rate of speed. Police officer pulls him over because she noticed that he was driving at a high rate of speed and he did not have his headlights on. Pulls him over, asking for his driver's license. He could not produce it. Asking for registration insurance, could not produce any of that. Then she proceeded to ask him if he's been drinking. He admitted to it. Then she proceeded to ask him to do a sobriety test after finding out that his driver's license was suspended. He denied wanting to do the sobriety test. Then she asked him to step out of the vehicle and placed him under arrest. So now we're at the point where, did she violate his civil rights? Was his civil rights violated? Was his civil rights violated? At what point was his civil rights violated? Can anyone tell me what was wrong with that? Was he ever Mirandized? Or when was he Mirandized? That's a big problem. Judge acknowledges Riley was improperly Mirandized. The public defender's office debated in a series of pretrial motions that testimony and body camera evidence of the liquor bottle not be admitted as evidence in the pretrial. The state attorney's office objected. Officer Oliver had no ill intent behind this, had no reason to believe that it would exonerate the defendant, said Assistant State Attorney Emma Hershey. It's not just the dumping out of the alcohol, they destroyed the seal. The seal is important, said Public Defender Desiree Goodfellow. They said that the policy is for open containers, Goodfellow said. But by destroying the seal, they made it inculpatory. They used the fact that the bottle was open as an evidence in the report. Officer Oliver said herself on the stand that, yes, an open alcohol bottle in the car is pretty big evidence for a DUI, Goodfellow said. Judge Jason Jones, as a former prosecutor, is overseeing the case. And then so in a recent pretrial motion, Judge Jones ruled to strike body camera evidence that included statements made by Riley before he was Mirandized. Riley was detained in Oliver's patrol car for over 9 minutes before being informed of his Miranda rights while restrained in handcuffs. Jones didn't honor a motion by the public defender's office to strike evidence of the bottle of cognac. I heard what I thought was a seal being broken, Judge Jones said. And one of the officers testified that she thinks that that's what she heard as well. That's going to be up to the jury to decide what they think. Riley's jury trial begins on Friday. So I already told you that it's already begun. So this is Mr. Riley. He will be back in court on tomorrow morning, 8:30. And God willing, I may be able to snatch a feed and bring that live coverage to you all. But what I can see, this has been more like a kangaroo court. There has been missteps by both the defense attorney and I'm not going to say really missteps. I'm just going to say that the defense attorney just got the case last week. Well, this new gentleman. And so I think that another maybe public defender fell off, and now this guy who's I believe he's in charge of this department, he's now taking on the case, but he's taking on the case late. This incident happened way back in May of last year, and so here it is, another brother that's trying to put his trust in the public defender's office because he's probably indigent and cannot afford his own attorney. And the police or admitting to tampering with evidence. If you search that vehicle, anything, any paraphernalia or anything that you find in that car should be considered as evidence, especially if you're gonna charge someone with DUI. I would think that a bottle of liquor is a pretty big deal, and as an officer, she should know that that bottle of liquor that she pulled out was going to be considered as evidence. So she tainted the evidence from the start. And now we're hearing here he was not even properly, he was improperly Mirandized. You Mirandized him after the fact, after the search, after placing the handcuffs on him, after putting him in the police car. This is so wrong on so many levels. But what we have to do, and I continue to say to our people, young and old, we have to stop talking when we are approached by these individuals, i.e., cops. You have a Fifth Amendment right. Hand them your driver's license, hand them your insurance card, hand them your registration, and don't answer any questions. And you could tell them, I plead the fifth, I don't answer any questions. And if they persist, you have the right to remain silent. That's the first thing they say when they Mirandize you. You have the right to remain silent. And then once they tell you you have the right to remain silent, they give you a Miranda rights. What the first thing they do is they start asking you a bunch of questions. But this young lady was asking this gentleman questions before even giving him his Miranda, reading him his Miranda rights. But the information and things that he's allowed to flow from his mouth has us in this position right now. Because what could have been a simple ticket, because she admitted herself on the stand that if I have the discretion whether or not to give him a ticket for driving on a suspended license. But if I find another offense, then I can take him to jail. So was she looking for another reason to take him to jail once she found out that the driver's license was suspended? That could have been a warning. That could have been a ticket. Driving while on a suspended license. He didn't have to go to jail. He didn't have to get his car impounded. But that's exactly what happened. So we don't know if this gentleman, still has a spot. I don't know if he owns the barbershop or he owns a spot in the barbershop. Either way, if that's his grandbaby or his daughter that he's holding right there, either way, this family is suffering because now this man is charged with DUI, which is no small charge. That's a criminal offense. And driving while on a suspended license. And this thing is viral now, all because this officer decided to pop the cap. But I'm glad that someone decided to leak the video, because if someone had not leaked that video of her doing that, this gentleman would have been in court trying to defend himself from a DUI charge from an inexperienced police officer who claimed that she's charging him and arresting him because by her 2-year experience discretion, he was under the influence of alcohol. But she was not experienced enough to know to make the call as to what to charge him with. She had to get backup. She called for backup. We have inexperienced people that have our lives in their hands. And the judges are allowing prosecutors to proceed with tainted cases that could turn real bad for us sitting on the side of the table as defendants. It's very important that we know our rights. So, what's next? They're going to proceed with court on tomorrow. I don't know if Mr. Raleigh is going to take the stand in his own defense. I really hope that he doesn't, because I think, in my own opinion, that young lady, Miss Oliver, the officer Oliver, she just ruined herself on the stand, and I don't think there's no coming back from that. And I hope the jury sees it the same way. This is a jury trial. It's not a bench trial. This is a jury trial, and we're going to hope that his fellow peers sees it the same way. Now, I looked up the demographics in Tallahassee, and it is majority YT people, right? And who knows? I know that there were two jurors that actually heard of had some information given to them between Tuesday being selected and Friday being actually seated for the first day of trial. They had heard something about the trial, and because of that, the prosecutors wanted a mistrial and a new jury to be seated. Well, the judge was not going for that. He said, we're going to proceed. Then it came a time during the right before the witness was supposed to take the stand. Miss Oliver, well, while she was on the stand, the prosecutor wanted to play a redacted version of the police encounter, the body cam video. And the defense attorney was like, well, we never seen the redacted version. And lo and behold, once the defense had a chance to look at the redacted version, the prosecutors had taken out 7 seconds of the part where this young lady popped the cap on that bottle of liquor, sealed bottle of liquor. So then the judge was furious about that. And when the judge asked the prosecutor, how long is it going to take you to fix it, to put all of that information back into that video? She was like, oh, it takes about 20, 25 minutes. And the judge was like, look, I don't care. We're proceeding with this trial with or without the evidence, the body cam evidence. We're going to proceed because he says, I've never seen anything like this in 20 years of my professional career. And it's like, it's a mess. And so when he said that, I was like, well, Judge, that goes to show you should be dismissing this case right now. But they got that prosecutor-judge relationship, prosecutor-judge-cop relationship, whereby you be hard-pressed to find a judge to throw out a prosecutor for administrative errors. I'm just saying. But I think she would, the prosecutor want to say it was a mistake. The IT people made a mistake. No, you make a mistake at that very crucial moment in that body cam video. I'm not buying it, lady. But I'm glad the judge decided that, hey, we're just going to have to extend this trial because I want the redacted video to be done exactly like I ordered it. And so I say shouts out to the judge for that, calling out the prosecution on that wise. These officers, I'm not going to say that they need better training. I'm going to say that they need longer training. 6 months is not enough time for an individual to be given power to decide the rest of your life. Meaning whether they're going to use the weapon, the deadly weapon that they are given and take your life, or they're going to put some charges on you whereby you spending the rest of your life behind bars. These police officers have a great amount of discretion, and because they have so much discretion, I think they need more education. So don't know how many of you all are viewing right now, how many of you all will view this video later, but I'm sure you all can agree with me on that much. 6 months is not enough time for a cop to spend on the job to really know, fully understand and comprehend the complexities of our criminal justice system and the laws that go along with it. Unless they're superheroes. She's young. I think she's like 20 something years old. She hasn't even seen and had enough life experiences to know what to do in all these different situations without having some type of foundation. 6 months, I don't think that you can get it. I just don't know. And now this gentleman's life weighs in the balance of an inexperienced cop. It looks like, the public defenders are really young, although I think they're holding their own right now in the motions that they're following and the objections that they're making, although the judge is not really sustaining a lot of their objections. He seems to be leaning towards the prosecution. However, he was very perturbed with the prosecution on today. So with that, I'm just going to say, look for this story. I'm going to complete the story that I've started so far. Of course, go to newsfacts.net to see the full story and also to go back and watch this video again. I'm going to also attach this video to that complete story. Also, stay tuned. Perhaps on tomorrow, I'll go live again with that live feed directly from the courthouse on tomorrow's. Court starts at 8:30, and that's for they're going to have some day 2 trial motions that they're going to discuss with the judge prior to having the next witness called. The prosecutor is going to call their next witness on Monday, and the trial will go on. Hopefully, they will end the trial on tomorrow, and our brother will be, free of all these charges. And I think that would be best. I would like to see that happen for our brother. So with that, I want to thank you again for tuning in to News, Facts, and Comments. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and play that video once again for those of you who are just coming in. I'll play the video of the actual stop, and we'll close out on that. Again, this is Akoti Tamar with News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Rap Session Special Report. I love you all with the love of Yahuwah. Love you all with the love of Yahuwah.
Of an empty liquor bottle in Riley's car before arresting him for an alleged DUI. Riley's license is suspended, and officers decide to arrest Riley on a first offense for his suspended license.
Would you be willing to do some voluntary field sobriety exercises?
Not really.
Okay. Here, go ahead and step out of the vehicle for us.
They didn't tell him the consequences of refusing that voluntary test.
Just go ahead and face the corner of the car for us. Your license is
After detaining Riley, they
suspended.
ask him if he smoked any marijuana.
Mr. Riley, I got a quick question for you.
No problem.
So I smelled marijuana in your vehicle. Did you recently smoke?
No.
Once he's arrested for driving with a suspended license, they can search his car. Officer Oliver leaves the car, does a 360, and then goes back in the car, retrieving a sealed liquor bottle and pours it out. That was the sound of the seal on the liquor bottle breaking. Here's another angle. While Officer Muth questions Riley about marijuana again,
Did somebody else smoke in your car earlier?
Oliver tosses the empty bottle into the passenger seat. They don't find any marijuana in the car. Here's Officer Oliver implying to Officer Muth that the empty bottle was likely what was in a cup in Riley's center console.
Cover where like the knee would sit. there's an opening and he had it like tucked. Okay. And then the whatever he had in his cup also stuck.
Then Officer Muth tells a senior officer that they found open alcohol in the car, in both a bottle and a cup.
Did y'all search the car?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing in there?
Well, okay, so he had a bunch of alcohol stash in there, but
Nothing open or anything?
yeah, open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in his like Tervis in the center console, he had a mixed drink, and then under his knee he had a like little bottle of vodka tucked away.
When officers group to discuss the case, they all ask each other if their body cameras are off.
Still on. Any evidence of that?
Marijuana.
Yeah.
Are you still on?
The video ends at this point. Riley's arrest report states, quote, "A search of Riley's vehicle yielded a small bottle of vodka that was opened in a pocket in the driver's seat cover." Riley's case begins on Friday, April 5th in the Leon County Courthouse in Tallahassee.
One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three just to make sure you ready. Four, let them know that we run this town. One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three just to make sure you ready. Four, let them know that we run. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are now tuned in to the greatest. The greatest of all time. The greatest of all time.
I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better.
One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three just to make sure you ready. Four, let them know that we run this town. One for the money, you know what it is. Two for the show, yeah, we shut it down. Three just to make sure you ready.